Hello, my name is Kurt Troutman. Welcome to another edition of Muskegon Musing. We like to take various cultural and city events and sort of shine a favorable spotlight upon them. And today we've got a good one. We have guests here today, George Maniatis, who's actually a colleague of mine and a member of the Greek Orthodox Church, along with Ken Hoops. George and Ken, welcome to our show. Good to see you guys.
Welcome, Kurt. Thanks for having us.
George, let's start. Greek Orthodox Church. I don't even really know what that is. Is that just some church just for Greeks?
No, it's an outgrowth, what we call an ancient faith. It goes back to the days of, the original Christians and St. Paul, who made those big treks through Greece and all the way to Rome. And all those letters you see in the New Testament, the letters to the Corinthians and the Ephesians and the Thessalonians and all those folks, well, it was actually communications with Greek people as he was trying to convert the Gentiles. And that's the origins of the Eastern Orthodox faith, Greek Orthodox, hence the word Greek Orthodox as opposed to anything else. But today, it is one of the 2 or 3 largest major Christian sects, and we don't speak Greek very much anymore, as Ken can attest to. What percentage of our services in Greek, perhaps, Ken?
Maybe 10%, I would say. Obviously, I'm not Greek, and I'm a member of the Greek Orthodox Church. And there are many individuals. We have Romanian, Jordanian, Americans. Really, your ethnic background really doesn't matter any longer with the Orthodox Church.
So where is this church located in Muskegon?
185 Honolulu Road, right in Norton Shores.
And so this church is open to anyone?
Anybody can come and visit us. Our services are 10 o'clock on Sundays, and all are welcome. As we're very, very similar in many of our aspects to the Catholic religion, except we do a few things differently.
Certainly.
It's a doctrinal, and it's a doctrinal religion, which we have a set order of service, but it's very interesting to see how we perform.
Now we want to talk today about one of the wonderful events that your church does sponsor, the Pilaf dinner. But just before we get there, give us one more statement about the church. What are just some of the founding principles or tenets? What's something I might recognize if I went in there?
Well, we're of course a Christian church, monotheistic, so we believe in Jesus Christ and God. And what you're going to find is many of the things that we do are very similar to the Catholic faith. You have the saints of all sorts. What we're going to find is we also celebrate a Eucharist every Sunday, a communion service. And the big thing is our tenets is to try to love each other and follow the 10 Commandments and do what we need to do as good Christians to get along. We've been doing that for thousands of years. Faith goes back to the time of ancient Jesus, Jesus in the first footsteps, so to speak. So we are a long-standing religion.
Well, it sounds like if any one of us were to go attend, of which we're all welcome, we'd find much more similarities than we would differences.
Exactly. And all are welcome. Do not discourage people. You don't need to know Greek. People see that word Greek sometimes and they get nervous. But Greek is just who we were. And Greek today only refers to the fact that we're all welcoming. We want you to come. And that's probably one of the tenets of being Greek, is we love you all.
And it's an easy church to find. It's on Honolulu Road, and you just look for the church with the big blue dome. And that usually people, oh yeah, I know where that is. So if you're ever going down Honolulu Road, and it's just east of the golf course there on Honolulu Road with the blue dome. So.
And I think we've all seen it. I know I've had the pleasure of going there many times. Usually, I tend to get there about every September on a Sunday afternoon. And that is where absolutely the best dinner in town is hosted. And that's really what we're here to talk about today, is this wonderful event. Ken, tell us about this annual event that you guys sponsor at the church.
Well, thank you. It is an excellent event. And it happens traditionally, we've always done it on September. This year it's September 10th, a Sunday, and it's a continuous dinner that starts at 11, goes until 5 p.m. And we've got some nice billboards up so people can see when it is and the date and the time. And this event has been going on for over 40 years. It's been a tradition. It's really become a tradition of the Muskegon community, not just our church, because it's been going on for so long. This year and every year, we have always had a professional dance team that will come and do Greek dancing. This year, the troupe is from Elgin, Illinois. They're excellent. We've had them before. We have an excellent meal. As you know, we have a Greek lemon chicken that we've always had Tony Malaziotis and some other prominent Greeks that are in the food industry that assist us in our meal preparations. So we have the primary item is the Greek chicken, but we also have, you get a Greek salad, you get Pilaf, which I don't know a lot of Greek, but I understand that means rice. So it's a Greek-style rice with sauce and meatballs. We get the spinach pie triangles and spanakopita. Did I pronounce that right, George?
Yes, spanakopita.
So you get some real Greek meal items as well as a dessert. And George is going to have to help me on this, but it's the Greek pastry that's a powdered sugar cookie.
Called it kudumbieta.
Kudumbieta. There we go.
Is that the 0-calorie one I've heard of?
Yeah, I think it's just when you look at it, 0 calories. Everything after it goes past your lips counts for something.
Now, I've been there many times, always have gotten a wonderful plate of food. And if I recall, I've seen you back with an apron on cooking yourself a time or two.
I have I really enjoy it. I mean, it's I'm back there in the kitchen or in the serving line, and it's a real opportunity for our community, our Greek community, the church community, to show what the community, where our church is at, and kind of what we're about. We really are. The community is like a family. And it's one opportunity where our church community acts as a big family putting on a big meal. And we have Greek coffee being served. We have other Greek pastries. We have a Greek pastry sale that we have dates that have already begun of members of the church. And I'm not discriminating anyway, but usually it's the elder Greek women that are actually coming and baking and making all the Greek pastries that we sell at the Greek pastry that's going on in another section of the church. And the one thing I want to stress a little bit is, we have this event where we often serve over 1,200 meals from 11 to 5.
1,200 people.
Yes. And this year, the last couple of years, we have a takeout, and this year we even have a drive-through takeout. So you don't even need to get out of your car. I know it's opening football weekend. You need to get back to the game or whatever. You can just drive through. We'll serve it. You don't even need to get out of your car.
Still make the Lions game.
And still make the Lions game. But one thing that I wanted to stress or mention to you, Kurt, is that, the dinner benefits the church, but I think people don't realize all the things that our church does for the community. We give to the Love Incorporated, the Rescue Mission, the Every Woman's Place. We have a group that volunteers at the Saturday morning breakfast at the other church that's downtown. We do a lot of outreach, but we're also very quiet about it, I would say. I don't know how else to explain, but we do a lot for the community. A lot of this money that we make from this event, we put back into the community.
And I think that's so important. And yes, I've seen this for years in our community. This is a great time for you to open your doors to the public, particularly a church that most of us are not overly familiar with. A wonderful dinner, a great cultural display. George, talk to us a little bit about the culture. And before you do that, maybe start with a traditional Greek greeting, give us a little bit of language, and talk to us about the cultural display there.
Kalimera sas, it's good day. Kalos oristete, it means welcome to our home. This whole idea of what we call kinonia, this community, is a big thing, and Ken, I think, hit on it. When we bring you in, we feed you, we want you to feel comfortable, and it's funny, people come back just because of the ambiance. You know, this is not your typical spaghetti and meatball fundraiser. We want to immerse you, we want you to feel comfortable, and it's funny, people come to the dinner, but they come to church 2, 3, 4 Sundays afterwards. We see them turn up and say, well, we wanted to come visit because we had such a good time here and want to see you guys in your church and your services. And it's a good cultural experience because we try to incorporate everybody. And we try to break down the walls because people see that word Greek, they think, oh, foreign. They don't want us. No, we're very welcoming. We want everybody. And yes, our origins were the Greek, the Greek language and Greek faith, going back 2,000 years. But we are now homogenized. We're part of the American society. And we retain these cultural traditions because they're great values to making people feel comfortable. We don't try to isolate ourselves. We don't try to segregate ourselves. And people like Ken can attest to it. You can come, you feel like part of the family, and you can worship, and you feel good about it. And we love to give back to our community, and I think it's so important to give back and to give people a fighting chance, because many of our members, are first generation and second generation, and they understand the value of the American society and this opportunity. And that's very important to us, that we were given and afforded much, and we were given opportunities, and we made our way through, and we want to give back to others so they can make their way through too. And I think that's important that we do that, and that's our community responsibility, our citizenship, which is very important to us. Obviously, we enjoy the fact that we can feed you wonderful pastry, and the dinner, my God, $10 for an advance ticket and $12 at the door. You can't get a restaurant meal for $12 in Muskegon. I don't care if you clip the coupons out of the newspaper and go to the big chain restaurants, you're not getting a dinner for $10 or $12 at the door. It's just not happening. So please come, bring your families, feel attached, try your hand at some of the Greek culture. Get out and dance with the kids. They're happy to instruct you. You can feel like Zorba the Greek. Kick up your heels a little bit.
So you both have got daughters. Tell me about your children in the church and how the culture was part of their upbringing.
Well, I have 2 daughters, and the church has been instrumental in, I believe, in their success. They're both. I have one daughter that's in graduate school, and another daughter heading off to just graduate from high school, heading off to Ann Arbor, and one thing about the church, the Greek Orthodox Church, is they're very, they promote public speaking and portraying the kids' talents. So there's Greek Independence Day that happens in March, which is a big celebration. And there's also a Christmas pageant. And at those events, the children are always very encouraged to either recite a poem, perhaps in Greek, or to play an instrument for everyone. And my daughters started doing this when they were 5 years old. And so when they're 16 and they're asked to speak, it's no sweat to them. And it's really, and obviously you, as George had mentioned, you still have a little bit of that Greek mentality or the immigrant mentality of, you come over here and you work hard and things will work out for you. And that is instilled in the children as well. And I think it had a lot to do with my girls' success.
Yeah, my children, I have 3 daughters, and all of them are, I would call them accomplished women. 2 of them are in graduate school. One's a PhD candidate at the university, or Marquette University in genetics. The other one is, the third one is now at St. Catherine University in St. Paul, Minnesota, studying law and biology, pre-law and biology. He wants to be a lobbyist one day. You know, all of this is, they're pushed and they're cultivated, this idea of achieving. And things like public speaking, the oratorical contests that they have at the church is part of that. This idea of try. You will not fail by lack of trying. We want you to try. And even if you don't accomplish, you still have made the effort. And that's a big thing. We give people the opportunity to try. And that's a big achievement. And the church is very supportive because not only do they provide the opportunities, they also provide the finances. We do have scholarships that we give our children. We have had benefactors that have given generously to our kids to help push them. And I think that's a big thing, you know, that they're supported, they feel supported. And the community rallies around them, and I think that's a big achievement. It's not always seen in some areas where you're more anonymous. I think one of the things about our community is we're very small. We're about 100 families. We all know one another. And even if you're from outside, you're embraced as if we know you from 10 generations ago. Just the way we are, you know, this idea of embracing people. And we almost smother you with love, which is... It can be a little oppressive to people, I think, at times, can't it, Ken?
I think so.
Well, I can agree with you both. I've had the pleasure of meeting your two daughters and all three of yours, and they're just all fine young women who are very right forward and able to stand forward for themselves. Now, Ken, you've been on the receiving end so many years, back there cooking, doing various things, and when I walk through, that's what I see. What do you see? What do you see in front of you with all the tables and the community members at the dinner? What is the vision from your eyes?
From what I see is, like I indicated earlier, it's kind of like our opportunity of our family to embrace and do something for the community. And that's what I see. I see people coming in and everyone having a great time, everyone talking. We have usually we have three different shows with the dance team that will be out on our patio that we have, and we'll have the community, and so many people will just sit around. We have chairs set up. They watch the Greek dancers do their, their professional thing that they do, these island dances, and they're all dressed in their garb, the Greek traditional garb. And we will also have our priests there that will do tours of the church, that will give a history of the church. And it's educational. And that's one thing that, Muskegon, it's nice to have some diversity and it's a nice opportunity for some diversity with cultural experiences in Muskegon. It's not just another beer tent, no, but it's a nice opportunity to see and learn something about some other ancient culture that is just so important to understand, especially with our global world anymore. And I see that as something that our church is giving to the community.
Well, being on the receiving end, I've been very happy there each and every year, and I have enjoyed the 1,200 people. I never had a count like that. It's just packed wall to wall in such a way. I always love to make it out and look at the different dancing show of all different age people. George, what are your thoughts? How do you perceive the community? Do you feel the community is receiving this well? What is your perceptions of that?
Well, yeah, I think they receive it extremely well, and the feedback we get every year is just incredible. When I just mention that this is coming up, people just flock. When is it? What date? How do we get involved, etc. And just being on the other end of it, Ken's on the serving line. I'm on the parking lot. Yeah. And our parking lot, if you've ever been there, is not very large. So we have to get cars in and out and people accommodated. And it really is a fluid activity, and people enjoy it. We try to make it very painless. We love to have people come and enjoy and feel good about themselves. And we try to make it a real guest experience. It's like if you were to come over to my house, I want you to feel like a member of my family, like you're going to get the same treatment as my wife or my daughters or anybody would be sitting at the table. You'd be just incorporated in our big family, and that's the way we try to do it, the ambiance. So.
Well, you sure helped me last year, because there I was in the parking lot, going through there, finding no spot whatsoever. and I saw your car. I said, I can just double park that car right there. He's not going anywhere. So that's what got me an easy parking spot. So tell us about your media outreach. Are you guys on Facebook? Is there a website? Where can we learn about the event as well as the Greek Orthodox Church?
Yeah, our Facebook page is facebook.com/AGOC Muskegon. Also, you can catch us on the web. And I don't remember our website offhand. Ken, do you happen to have that handy for us?
I believe it's AGOC Muskegon. But we're doing some pre-sale, which for tickets, and we'll be advertising in the Grand Haven Tribune and the Muskegon Chronicle, and we do have a pre-sale for $10 and at the door $12, and we do have a website, an email address, and AGOC is the Annunciation Greek Orthodox Church, so it's agocpilaf@gmail.com.
So you're planning for another 1,200 people
Well,
this year?
we're trying to increase a little bit this year. We're hoping maybe 1,400. So if people would, and that's again why we're having the advanced ticket pricing, so we can have a better handle on foodstuffs and preparations, because every year we get slammed with large crowds, and sometimes people are a little frustrated. They get there a little bit late, 4 o'clock, there's nothing left, or the pastry's gone.
We'll have enough for everybody this year.
Yeah, we're anticipating bigger crowds. So.
Now, Ken, my dear friend, I know that you are in charge of that kitchen. Is there a way to save me the very best piece of chicken for this dinner?
Kurt, we always save you the best. Come on now.
Outstanding.
Everybody gets the best.
That's right.
But the crowds there just really cannot be understated. It seems like everyone I know in Muskegon, whether I've caught up with them during the year or not, I'm going to find them at the afternoon dinner. Again, far more than just the members of your church. The members of all of our churches seem to find their way down there. And it's just extraordinary. When you're looking for anyone on September 10th, that's going to be the place to find them.
And the weather is usually, knock on wood, favorable. We have never really been rained out or had any bad weather. It's always been probably a pretty nice day. It's one of those nice, warm September Sundays.
So let's hope for that again this year.
So Ken, take me on a quick tour of the church, because I know you have tours there. I've taken them several times. So when I walk in, what are some of the highlights upon touring the church that I'm going to see?
Well, as you come in and you come in the entryway, and this is where George and his Greek language would be helpful in explaining the technical terms of the different categories.
The narthex, which is the area where you'd see some icons, and the preparatory stage for entering the church. The nave is the center of the church where you see your traditional pews, and you'd be seated. And then we have our altar area, which is the sanctuary up in front. So there's 3 parts to the church. Mm-hmm. Most of the activity goes on in the nave, of course, where people sit and we get the word and do our thing. So, and everybody's welcome to come.
And then attached to our church, we have a large community center, and that's obviously where we have our meal. And then behind the community center, we have a large patio. And so that's where we have our Greek dancers with the music and the chairs and the Greek coffee and the pastries that are cooked right there for anyone who wants them. And it's a fabulous day.
We're on a nice little 10-acre property out there, idyllically set. The woods surround us, so it's a nice place to come.
It truly is. It's an exceptional visit. So this event will take, tell us one more time, the location, the time, and the place.
It's at the Annunciation Greek Orthodox Church on Honolulu Road, Sunday, September 10th, 2017, continuous meal service from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
And what type of dinner are we going to have there, George?
Chicken pilaf and Greek pastries.
It is really just exceptional. Get there early. Double park your friends if you need to, because the parking lot will be full. For the first time this year, they'll have drive-through, so they'll be able to drive right through. If you need to take your dinner home with you, they package up real nicely, and home it will go. And you'll be able to get the second best piece of chicken in the whole place because I've got the first one already lined up. Thank you, Ken.
You're welcome.
So we look forward to seeing everybody there on September the 10th. Thanks for watching.